are still jealous mentality who will use you and not give a damn about your life. Careful, high profile influencers, be wise. Let's move on. Right here, it says TikTok CEO responds to the U.S. House passing ban bill.
Joe here. Just wanted to share some thoughts with our US users about the disappointing vote in the House of Representatives. There has been a lot of misinformation, and I hope to clarify some things. First, thank you to our incredible community. You are what makes TikTok so special. Thank you for making your voices heard. Over the last few years, we have invested to keep your data safe and our platform free from outside manipulation. We have committed that we will continue to do so. This legislation, if signed into law, will lead to a ban of TikTok in the United States. Even the bill sponsors admit that that's their goal. This bill gives more power to a handful of other social media companies. It will also take billions of dollars out of the pockets of creators and small businesses. It will put more than 300,000 American jobs at risk, and it will take away your TikTok. We know how important TikTok is to all of you. It has given our 170 million users a platform. Everyone, the show here. Just wanted to share some thoughts with our US users about the disappointing vote in the House of Representatives. There has been a lot of misinformation, and I hope to clarify some things. First, thank you to our incredible community. You are what makes...
Okay, what do you think about the TikTok situation?
I gotta see more on it. I mean, right now, it's banned from like app stores, but it's not hard to get. I mean, you can go directly to their website and download it on your phone.
Well, it hasn't happened
yet.
Have
to allow you have to allow permission for third-party apps instead of going to the store.
Well, it hasn't happened yet. They told them that they have to sell it, so they're giving them like 60 days. I want to say,
okay,
to sell it, or it'll be a full ban.
Well, I know all the American data has been moved to Oracle servers. Walmart tried to buy it back in the early days of the Biden administration, but they went, no, we're going to wait a minute. Or they were trying to buy it before the election. And when he got elected, they're like, nah, we're going to hold off on this. I've been trying to find it. Someone offered, I think it was Elon or someone, or one of the big billionaires said, yeah, I'll pay for your servers here in the US. And I get a percentage of the company and I'll drop so much on it. And I can't find out who that was. That was about 3 days ago I saw that. After the vote went positive. I mean, because the vote passed and now they're having to do certain things for whatever. At least I believe it did.
Well, the premise is about the data, talking about, having access to your data. But I absolutely do not believe that at all as the real motivation for this situation.
No, it's about advertising revenue and the ability to direct it. It is about the data, just not the way we think it is. They're not lying when they say it's about the data. It's about who controls and has access to the data.
So the caption, it says TikTok CEO Shangji Shu expressed disappointment over Wednesday's vote regarding the potential U.S. TikTok ban.
I was perfectly fine at the point of them restricting it off of all government phones and things like that, and them barring it from being allowed use on active military bases. I'm sorry, our soldiers should not be making TikToks in the fucking in the dorms.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm totally not a fan of TikTok, but you know, I think they want to have a monopoly on this stuff,
it
and
irritates me.
I do have a problem with that. And then
Well,
you have
TikTok, YouTube's got shorts. Facebook has shorts. I mean, everybody's getting into the short phase. Here's my question: why are corporations and why are the government pushing so hard right now to give everybody in the world ADD? To not be able to concentrate on anything for more than 60 seconds to 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah. Well, I think it's our fault when it comes to that. It's, you know, we are getting a shorter and shorter attention span. I mean,
No,
on our own,
we're being taught that though.
Yeah. And another problem I have with this is these are regular folks who create this content. They're making money, and you know, instead of the major media corporations making all the money off of, you know, the advertising dollars, you got regular folks making money and creating the content that they want to create. And I think that they want to mash out on this. Another attack on small businesses.
Do you realize that we are about to have an entire generation that is incapable of having an in-depth conversation on a subject?
Very, very sad.
I mean, you see what I'm seeing. I'm not. This isn't conspiracy, Doc. This is like, oh fuck! What did we Generation X stepped out of the game, and what the fuck happened?
Yeah, man. How did we freaking get here? You know, that's why this is the show that I do here. What we're doing right now is a pushback on that. I do this long form show for a reason, even though it doesn't work very well as far as people, you know, getting clicks and staying engaged, because they want short, bite-sized, you know, clickbait, shiny thumbnails. That's what they want, you know.
Well, we're about to get you. Like I said, once I moved into my new place, I was going to work on some stuff. We're about to get you storyboarded into 12-minute segments.
Nice.
That's perfectly good for a 10-minute one that can be monetized through ads. And at 12 minutes, you can also add a minute to maybe do a product or something like that in the future. It'll give you the lucky 13.
Product placement. Couple more comments. It says banning TikTok before banning guns is wild. Yeah, so like I don't know their priorities.
Actually, from what I've seen, TikTok is currently more dangerous.
It's pretty dangerous. I can't even argue with that. Another comment says, y'all hate TikTok, but 95% of the reels you see on IG originate from TikTok, LOL. And my kids pointed that out to me because I was always talking bad about TikTok. Oh, I hate TikTok. I hate TikTok. And I'm always on Instagram. And they're like, you know, all that stuff you're looking at on Instagram came from TikTok. And I'm like,
pointed that out to you too, man.
Yeah.
It's all about that 90-second content. It's all about why do you think Twitter is only 250 character or what is that one?
But just like what you said though about all the other ones are doing the reels and they're pushing the reels, they're copying that TikTok format that TikTok did so well and what made it so successful. And like I say, it's the competition. It's about money, and they don't like competition. You know, TikTok does it the best, like as far as the short form deal. Like they fucking originated that shit. And these kids are addicted to TikTok. Like that's what they do. That's their deal. Like they created it. They didn't create it, but they made it what it is.
It's like America's Funniest Home Videos, the Tide Pod edition.
Another comment, it says, hold on. It says they're mad because they can't censor TikTok like they can with everything else. That's a good perspective. A lot of people are saying too, you know, they're saying, some people are saying Israel wants to buy TikTok. And the reason why they want to ban TikTok is because of the information that's coming out for TikTok, you know, against Israel and so forth and so on. You know, they can't control it like they can with Meta and Facebook, because they don't have the, you know, they don't own it, so they don't have those filtering capabilities that they have with the other, you know.
I mean, pretty much try
Apps.
anything conservative or right wing on it. You see how quick you last.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've seen, like I say, I've seen some stuff, but the stuff you see are selected people. They've got a skit, they got a routine, they stick within their lane. They paint it up very, very well. They don't go against, or they go directly against the easily defendable points of the status quo.
Yeah. And I think another part of this that people are missing is like the TikTok that we get here in the United States is totally different from the TikTok that they have in China. Like, as far as the content, the content over there is way more like cerebral. It's you know, it's less sex, it's less, you know, it's more positive basically overall.
14-year-old girls doing hoochie dances.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I really hate TikTok, is because
with their 28-year-old moms.
And those silly dances that they do, they don't take no effort or no freaking, it's the same dance every damn time. They're moving their arms around, and it's like,
no.
It's not a new dance. That's the same shit.
No, it's the challenge. They're all trying to imitate the original challenge.
Make me want to vomit. There's no skill. There's no like effort. There's no like, you know.
Dude, it is the MySpace before Facebook. The question is not what's happening with it now. The question is, what is it going to evolve into next? Because next step for it is going to be Facebook. So what is TikTok, the Facebook, going to be looking like?
Let's read another.
I know that sounds like really weird, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
I do. I get what you're saying, but I don't know that TikTok will evolve. I mean, it's gonna evolve, but
it evolves or it dies. It evolves or it loses to Facebook Reels and YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely beating out all of the other ones right now. So let me read this one. It says, just FYI, people, China banned Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, Uber. The list goes on and on. You know, and that's an interesting little angle to take on. I mean, you know, if the U.S. wants to ban TikTok, I mean.
And do you know why? Do you know the number one reason why every single one of those companies said no to them?
Wow.
Part of your contract with the CCP and the Chinese government is any and all trade secrets of your company are available and must be made knowledge to the government the CCP, whatever business industrial bureau. Which means if you make donuts in a very certain way with a very specific recipe, you have to tell them what that recipe is, what that process is. You have to show them the designs if it's a special machine. They have to know all of your processes inside and out. They have access and they have the rights to it.
But there's laws in place to protect stuff like that. It's
not in China.
Proprietary.
There is no proprietary knowledge if you do business in China. All proprietary knowledge, the CCP has access to it, which is why all of them will not. It's like we've banned them. No, they refuse to give you their proprietary software, their proprietary knowledge. That's why you banned them.
what's weird about this list is LinkedIn. I'm like, LinkedIn, bro, like they don't do nothing. Like it's just like a place for people to try to get jobs. I mean, you can not like it, but
no, they have the name, contact number, information, and job history of over 150 million Americans, not to mention worldwide. That's a lot of info at your fingertips right there. And all of their server data, they would have to give access to CCP if they worked in their country.
Yeah, I just don't understand what China would have a problem with LinkedIn for.
Like I just said,
LinkedIn
said, no, we're not going to give you our proprietary data. We're not going to give you how our software works. We're not going to give you backdoors. We're not going to give you manipulation abilities of posts and things like that. So they go, oh, well, they're a bad Western influence who supports capitalism over the state, and we're not going to allow them to work in this country.
Let me read
Remember,
this one.
propaganda works both ways. That's theirs toward us, with all of ours toward them.
This one, it says people not understanding that this sets a precedent for the government to impose more arbitrary totalitarian laws wherever they see fit. That's a really interesting little thought right there. You know, the government deciding on what apps you can use or not use or whatever. Like that sounds like North Korea.
Well, they're not. No, because they're not actually saying can't. They're saying change your business model, or we will not allow you to operate. It does not fit.
That pretty much sounds like the same thing. Like, I mean, semantics.
Like I say, when you get in, when you start working about the law and legalities, semantics are everything. There's the letter and the spirit. The spirit don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
People will always take advantage of the letter of the law.
Yeah, I think that we're police state totalitarianism and sliding that way, and it's getting championed and
the left is bringing it quicker than the right, though.
Regardless of who's whatever, the result is the American people being in a situation like North Korea.
Fight you if you try to control my actions, but if you try to control my thoughts and you tell my neighbors to tell on me if I don't think the right thoughts or if I'm not acting the way I should, that's a more dystopian society to me than one that I actually can take a gun and fucking fight.
Either way, the results are the same. The American people looking like North Korea and not being aware of it.
Oh, no, we will never look like North Korea. And I know you like to use that analogy, but that just tells me how little you know about North Korea. There's a lady I need to show you who escaped North Korea that explains to you how, like, the textbooks talk about how their leaders were, like, performing miracles and doing surgeries and curing people with just words and all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, and that's the textbooks in the school. They were actually taught that.
Yeah, that's not that far of a stretch from the way that we worship the founding fathers and all of that stuff. Like,
not as long as we continue to support the fucking First Amendment. Because the only way to fight ignorant speech is with intelligent speech. And the one thing I realized is all the people out there saying, I'm tired of talking to dumb people. I'm tired of explaining it. No, you're not. You can't explain it. That's why the whole idea is I realize that I get smarter the more I talk about things. And I'm not saying I'm a genius or anything at all about anything. Like I say, I know nothing. But when I'm trying to describe the situation to some ignorant dumbass that doesn't know it, his ass from a hole in the ground, it makes me smarter because I'm having to figure out how to explain it to him with the least amount of effort and the lowest amount of detail possible.
Yeah. It's working out those muscles. It's just like, your mind is a
Yeah.
muscle and you work it out.
Please don't take me as being an asshole for what I just said. I'm using that as a descriptive, not pointing at people that are dumb and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, so
you know
that's
what
what I
I'm
try
talking about.
I completely understand you. And that's what I try to do on this show. It's like a little mental exercise always. The whole thing is that. And hopefully with me, you, and the listeners, everyone kind of goes away from it with a little mental workout. Maybe you don't change your views at all, but you got a little workout. And hold on, let me say this. There's a quote, Einstein quote. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it enough. Paraphrased. Go ahead.
Well, here's what I say. You and I have both tilted a little bit in our directions over the course of the last 3 years.
Yeah. So that's good.
By the way, I hit 3 years just recently.
That's good. Really, really good.
And like I said, you've told me flat out, hey man, I think about things a little different and understand a little better. And you've done the same thing. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And that's this, and I know I've made a little twist with the why, look behind, follow the money, follow the people, look at this. But I'm thinking that needs to be communicated even more because we're just talking about stuff and saying this is the way it is, but it ain't the way it is. I mean,
or the way it has to be.
Yeah, I want to point people towards things to look at and things like that because no matter how much you and I say, they'll just freaking pick a side.
Yeah.
Or be pissed because we agree, or be pissed because we disagree.
Right, exactly. No pleasing them. And if we agreed on everything, then what would be the point? Like, what are we growing? How would we be growing if we just agreed on everything? You know what I mean?
Oh well,
doesn't help.
That's why
these echo chambers.
You see me, it's like, hold up, hands up. Here's the deal. We agree on this, but I'm gonna take the other side for a little bit.
Yeah, these damn echo chambers doesn't help us.
Those have been some of our best conversations too.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. Because sometimes I play devil's advocate too, and it still has a good benefit. Yeah, but these echo chambers, these our algorithm feeding us what we want to know. These talking bobbleheads in the media just freaking re-solidifying our predetermined views is not helping anyone, and it's making things worse because we have this partisan politics where everybody is hardlined and the other side is just stupid and lying. They can't say nothing truthful. Like, that's what makes me angry is when you can't say the other side has said anything good or has done anything good, or you can't agree with none of their policies because they're on the other side.
Always, to me, whether or not I agree with the policies depends upon the subject we're talking about, which is why I can swing so far from the right to the left that it scares you sometimes.
And the world is not black and white. Like, there's gray. It's not simple. Like, everybody wants to simplify things and sound like they're all intelligent, and they've simplified everything to the lowest common denominator. And once it gets to that point, then you're not even like interacting with the data. Like, you're not.
At that point, I have to point out, what do the schools teach to? The lowest common denominator. They don't teach to the middle of the class. They teach to the lowest of the class to bring them up.
Yeah. But see, there's problems with that too, because
we're selling out our brightest and middle students.
Right.
Because we are torturing them. We are literally torturing them.
Yeah, that's
by
where I was
keeping
about to
them in
go.
these classes. That when I was in
Because
third grade, it was recommended by teachers that I got skipped up to fifth grade. Not because of anything except the fact that the books I was reading, the things I was figuring out and stuff like that, they actually thought that my mind was functioning 2 years ahead of where was age-wise.
mhm.
And I think the biggest blow to my entire life was when my parents did not allow them to skip me forward. And
Yeah.
this is in a state that, in the last 3 states we were in, was a year or two ahead of the others. It was in
Mhm.
California in the 70s. And they had a great education system in the towns outside of military bases back then.
Yeah. Well, back to the point of like dumbing things down, because like I was reading somewhere where they were talking about the media and like how they do news stories and how they write them at like a seventh grade level or something like that.
Sixth grade.
You know, and so all of the media that you consume is all written at this sixth, seventh grade level.
College
Because
books are written at the 10th grade level.
you know, and it's because they want to be able to reach the widest audience, which I understand, but at the same time, I mean, like some of the stuff should be written at a higher level. Like it's like you write a kid's book for elementary school kids and you only use smaller words or whatever, and you only talk about concepts that aren't too complicated so that they can get it, and that's fine. But you know, not everybody is in elementary school, not everybody is in middle school, so why would you mass produce the stuff all at this lower level? You know what I mean? Like some people can understand the more complex things or the bigger words or whatever. Let me read a couple more comments. It says, I'm still not over losing Vine, LOL. It says, TikTok ruined a whole generation of impressionable children. See ya. Man, I think TikTok did have a freaking huge impact on these kids out here, man. But
I
it's
think
not
it
just
is.
TikTok.
I think it is the coals at the base of the bonfire of this whole self-identity, you must respect me community coming up.
Yeah, but I don't think you can completely put it all on TikTok, though.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that is the coals at the base of the bonfire. Takes a lot more to make a bonfire than just hot coals.
Couple more comments. It says they can't manipulate information on TikTok. That's why the government want to ban. A lot of people are saying that.
And
It
they
says,
absolutely can, and they absolutely do. I mean, seriously, I mean, there's all kinds of evidence and stuff out there, and all kinds of videos talking about banned on TikTok. I know people that have had 7 accounts banned on TikTok, and literally all she did was be a men's advocate. Women stop being dicks to men, and she had 7 accounts banned.
mm. Let me read this one. It says, like I love all the jokes, but also protect freedom of speech. Please don't let this be the first major chess move to silencing a huge population and controlling the movement of information. So I think
Okay,
that's the most
no,
important
no.
part of this. So where are the First Amendment folks at?
Where were all
Where
these
y'all at?
people when Elon Musk bought fucking Twitter? Fuck you, TikTok people. Elon Musk said we're opening back accounts. We're letting people back online. He's a conservative. This guy is a fucking liberal. This platform is a liberal platform. Oh my God, this is horrible what they're doing. It's so horrible. Oh, Elon Musk bought Twitter. Oh, it's so horrible. Nasty people are going to be saying bad things that hurt my thoughts. What the fuck, man?
I
Pick
don't
a
know
lane.
that.
Pick a lane.
I don't know that TikTok is a liberal platform, but still,
it absolutely is.
That's still beside the point when you're looking at it from a First Amendment standpoint. You know?
No, I think Elon Musk buying Twitter was a great thing. I like the idea of TikTok. I believe it should stay, but I understand the tech end of this, not the social. All you could argue is the social end. Every time I bring up the tech end, you get lost. And I'm not gonna keep hammering on stuff that you know what I mean? It's not right for me to do that. There's a lot of tech stuff involved that I understand. That's why this is going on. Social wise, and everybody's making about the social aspects and stuff like that. And that's not the whole story.
Well,
but
even
at the
with
same time, I disagree with the people that say it should be shut down because of the social aspects.
Yeah, well, regardless of the technical part of it all, the fundamental idea of freedom of speech, freedom of information,
they have no requirement of that because they are a private company, just like all the rest of them. And they're not even an American company. They are a communist-controlled company. Your argument has no weight with freedom of speech because they're owned by a country that does not have or guarantee freedom of speech.
That sounds
their own platform is highly, highly regulated in their own country.
That sounds just like the left when they're saying that certain things should be canceled because they're saying stuff that they don't want to hear.
I'm saying you're being contradictory.
Yeah, I'm saying you're being contradictory.
No, like I said,
the freedom of speech argument.
I'm not.
The left
arguing,
makes excuses.
There's not a freedom of speech argument here. They do not, as a Chinese-owned company, have protection from the Constitution.
Well, if you're banning TikTok, then that or canceling them
from the Constitution as a Chinese-owned company.
But I don't know what that has to do with the freedom of speech argument.
First Amendment. They do not have the protection of the First Amendment to fall back on.
I don't see how that fits. We do. And we're the ones who banning it. So we're choosing and picking what we decide to not allow people to speak. That's freedom of speech.
Yes. And guess what? YouTube does it. Facebook does it. How many violations have you gotten on both of those? Twitter does it. Rumble does it. They all fucking do it. Why are you got such a hard on for this one foreign company?
I don't care. If TikTok disappeared, I'd probably be happy. I'm just saying this last person's comment about the freedom of speech. What did they say? He said, I love all the jokes, but also protect freedom of speech. Please don't let this be the first major chess move to silencing a huge population and controlling the movement of information. I think that's a very fair whether it was TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, you could put any one of them in there, and that comment would still work.
That first move was made through the pandemic. The first move away from that was Rumble and Truth being started. And those are conservative platforms. I dislike them, but they don't tend to ban people for what they say. And then you've also got X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, bought by Elon Musk, who allowed many, many people who had lost their voice, platform, ability to speak, allowed back on. Now, to be fair, a lot of people that came back on started talking stupid shit, hate speech, things like that. And what did Elon do? He said, gone. The whole idea about free speech is play nice, don't break the fucking very limited rules There's very limited rules to free speech. Don't say some group or another or person needs to be eliminated. You know, don't yell fire in a movie house, and don't say this, that, the other, or anything is for a reason to be taken out. That covers pretty much most of it.
And I can agree with there being a certain amount, like if the speech is dangerous, like to the life of someone, you know, then that's one thing. But you know, if it's not, you know, then you're going against the First Amendment. Let me read this one. It says, "You also pressed over TikTok stealing your info when literally every social media platform, even this one, steals your info just as much, LMFAO." And I've been making that argument for the longest.